Hello and a big welcome to Kat Sara Yoga. I'm Kat and this is Yoga for Empowerment. Today we're focusing on the core and tapping into the energy of Manipura Chakra. So this is the energy center located in your solar plexus area, and its element is fire. It's to do with your digestion, your sense of purpose, sense of self and doing energy. So as well as being a grounding and relaxing class, this class will also get you fired up with positive energy and ready to go. Enjoy the class. To begin, turn so that you're facing along the length of your mat and move forward so you have some space behind you. Have your feet about in hip distance apart and draw them in towards you, giving your knees a hug. Just curling into a little ball, you will rock back to the back edges of your sit bones, let your back round, your chin tuck in towards your chest. Relax your face and jaw. It's fine for your toes to be on the floor to steady you, or maybe they can lift. And just breathe here. Begin to connect your mind with your breath. Maybe have a few sighs. And just take a moment to feel your own inner strength as you balance here in cosmic egg pose. Finding gratitude for yourself for arriving here on the mat today, for making the decision to practice some yoga. Just congratulate yourself. And just feel that sense of centeredness, connectedness to yourself. This is a class for empowerment and inner strength. And we feel strong and centered. So a couple more breaths here. Just being aware of the sensations of your breath. And then bringing your hands behind your thighs and lengthening and straightening your spine. So you might have your toes still on the floor, they might be lifted, but lengthen all up the back of your body. You're going to feel your core start to engage. Those abdominal muscles turning on. Breathing wide and full into your chest, feeling the ribcage expanding broadly with every inhalation. And as you exhale, the ribs draw in. See if you can have a sense of your lower ribs staying down, the upper abdominal muscles engaging as you breathe in again. So you're still breathing, but you're expanding into the chest, not so much breathing into your belly because those lower ribs are staying drawn down. Breathing wide and full into your chest. Lower ribs stay plastered down, upper abdominals engaging, and the pelvic floor lifting. So think of that hammock of muscle at the base of the body lifting up and drawing in, like an aeroplane, drawing its wheels up and in. And think of a soft engagement from inner hip bone to inner hip bone, so across the width of your abdomen. So you can really feel that strength in your core, I'm sure. This is boat balance, boat pose. So bringing your arms out to shoulder height, parallel to the floor, and maybe you can bring your shins to parallel to the floor as well. It's okay if you want to take that one at a time. Maybe both. Breathe here, shoulders away from the ears, feeling energized. Feel your thighs magnetizing towards each other. So even if they're not together, just feel that sense of drawing in, drawing the kneecaps up towards the hip socket. So much strength in your core. Draw your knees in and give them a hug. Let your chin drop towards your chest. Cosmic egg pose. Relax your pelvic floor. But keep your mind connected with what's going on in the pelvic floor. You might find there's a little bit of engagement there. Maybe engagement and release as you balance, maybe rock a little. Breathe wide and full. Breathe into the back of your body. Face and jaw relaxed. Eyes closed for a moment. And then bringing your feet to the floor. Just make sure you've got space behind you. And so we're going to drop the shoulders away from the ears and bring your hands into Kali Mudra. So we've got palms together and first fingers extending forward, thumbs extending forward, and the other fingers gently clasped. So Kali Mudra is brilliant. It's a hand gesture. Mudra means gesture. It's brilliant for relieving feelings of anxiety, depression, or insomnia. It helps to bring positivity into the body, and it's the sense of pouring out and letting go. So we want to think of letting go of anything that doesn't serve us and bringing in that strength and positivity. So engaging your core, drawing your tummy in, lifting your pelvic floor so you feel strength in the abdominal area. Inhale here and exhale as you tip your pelvis backwards and round your spine just a little. Inhale, lengthen, back up. Shoulders are relaxed, face and jaw relaxed. Exhale, tip the pelvis backwards. See if you can roll back a little more, keep control. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, rolling back. So we're beginning to lengthen the spine out along the mat, inhaling up, use your core. Feel like the core is the powerhouse to this movement, drawing you back up with its strength. Hollowing out your belly, tummy drawing in towards the spine. Exhale, rolling back. Inhaling up, really strong, well done. Let's keep going, keep control. Exhaling, rolling back a little further each time. Really lengthen your spine out along the mat. Inhaling up. We're working our way down to lie on our backs. If it becomes a little bit too much, and as you're rolling back further, you start to shake in your tummy muscles, or you're just finding it too much, then you can simply come over onto your side and use the strength of your arms to lower yourself down to the mat and then come to lie on your back. If you're able, then we're exhaling, rolling and lengthening all the way down. And then a full body stretch, stretching long like a pencil. Breathe here. And then drawing your knees in one at a time. Have a gentle rock side to side, massaging out the flesh around the spine. And maybe keeping your knees together and circling the knees. Feeling as though this massages the flesh all around the base of the spine at the sacrum. One at a time, bring your feet down to the floor. And then we're going to have a few pelvic tilts. So bringing your thumbs together, fingertips together, and place this diamond shape on your abdomen. Fingertips on the pubic bone, thumbs just below the belly button, and tipping your pelvis backwards. So if you had a marble in the center of this diamond shape, the marble would roll towards the thumbs here, tipping the pelvis backwards. Lower back presses into the mat. Tip your pelvis forwards. The lower back arches away from the mat. And then we're going to tip the pelvis backwards and forwards, making each tilt smaller each time until the imaginary marble would be in the center of the diamond shape. Bring your arms down by your sides. And then bringing your right leg up so the knee stacks directly over the hip and shin is level with the floor. From here, we're going to bring the inner hip bones just a little bit closer to the lower rib. So we're closing that gap. You're engaging your lower back in towards the mat. So you're not jamming the lower back into the mat, but you can feel the lower back in deeper contact with the mat than you could with a neutral pelvis. So that little close through the front of the body, lower back in contact with the mat gently. The other leg comes up too. So knees stuck over the hips, shins level with the floor here. And you can keep your arms down by your side. For more challenge, you can clasp your hands behind your head, but make sure you're not arching your back away from the mat. You must maintain that gentle contact between the lower back and the mat. Exhale as you bring your left toes down to the floor and give them a little tap, keeping the lower back pressed into the mat. Inhale the leg back up, stack knee over hip. Exhale, other side, right foot comes down as if you were dipping your toes in a puddle of water and inhaling back up. So we'll keep going with the breath, exhaling left toes down, inhaling up. Make sure your lower back stays down towards the mat. So we don't want the lower back to be arching away from the mat. If it is, try bringing your arms down by your sides. Exhaling, toes tap down, inhaling up. Now I'm not changing the angle behind my knee. Okay, that's really important. Feel as though you have a big juicy orange behind each knee. You don't want to let go or squash it. So you're working from your hip. So last round, take your time, come back to center and give your knees a nice hug. One at a time, bring your feet down to the floor and have a full body stretch, stretching long like a pencil, stretching from fingertips to toes. Just letting your arms extend up and circling your wrists just a few times in each direction here. And then one at a time, drawing your knees back in, gather them in, give your knees a little hug. And we're going to stack the knees over the hips again. And this time, clasping your hands behind your head. Tip your pelvis backwards, so you're pressing your lower back down into the mat, and you'll feel that core engagement happening. Feel that you're engaging from inner hip bone to inner hip bone. The lower ribs are staying drawn in. And as you breathe wide and full into your chest, you keep those lower ribs plastered down. So the rib cage expands forwards, out to the sides, out to the back, but not flaring the ribs. They stay plastered in, and the abdominal muscles stay engaged here at the top. Engaging inner hip bone to inner hip bone, lifting pelvic floor. Take a nice inhalation, and as you exhale, extending your right leg out, hover it above the mat, and lifting your right elbow towards left knee. So feel as though you're holding an orange under your chin that you're not squashing. Lower back down as you draw that right knee in. So we're extending left leg out as we exhale, left elbow towards right knee. And inhale, slowly lower back down as we draw the left knee back in, stacking the knee over the hip. That's going to be enough effort. If that's enough effort for you, then just stay there. Keep going with the breath. Exhaling, opposite elbow to opposite knee as the leg extends out. Inhale back to center. Really good. Let's see if we can do 2 more each side. Keep drawing the tummy in, lifting the pelvic floor. This is so good for your core. Gentle twist, all the effort coming from your abdominal area. Keep your lower back grounded down into the mat. Good, last round. Well done. One at a time, let your feet come down to the floor and extend your arms and legs away from each other, a full body stretch. Try not to flare the ribs, try to be long like a pencil. Wonderful. And then gathering your knees in, draw them in, have a little rock side to side. So you can either roll over onto your side and use the strength of your arms to make your way up to sitting, or drawing your lowest rib a little bit closer to your inner hip bones. So you're closing that gap at the front of the body, lifting your collarbone up and forward, and then beginning to rock. So we're building up momentum slowly. Try to keep your shape, so not letting your knees come away from your body too much. You might like to hold your thighs behind the knees. Gradually building up momentum. See if you can rock straight back up into boat pose. Lengthening your spine. Shins parallel with the floor. Energizing your fingertips. And then hug your knees in cosmic egg. Wonderful. Plant your feet down in a hip distance apart, parallel. And take your hands behind you, fingers pointing in towards your bottom. So we're coming up into reverse table. So take a nice inhalation, and as you exhale, press into your hands and feet and lift up your hips as high as you can. So you might want to kind of lengthen your stance a little bit, just make sure ankles are underneath, hands under shoulders. So you'll see I've got my chin in towards my chest here. If you have any worries about your neck, then stay like this. If your neck is okay, you don't have any problems with it, and you'd like to go a little bit further, keep pushing your hands into the earth, and you can let your head fall back. So we're pushing the hips up, and breathe. One more lovely deep breath here. Now as you lower yourself down, bring your bottom down, let that lead your head down. So we're not bringing the head up till the bottom comes down. The spine slowly stacks back to center. Wonderful. And then giving your knees a little hug, drop the chin towards the chest, beautiful. Bring your hands onto the floor, take a nice inhalation. Exhale, let your knees release to one side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, knees over to the other side. Inhale back to center. Continue with the breath for a few rounds. Just releasing out through the hips and the waist. Exhale, knees drift to the side. Inhale, float back to center. Exhale to the other side. One more round each side. And come back to center. From here, you may like to repeat your reverse tabletop. So you're coming straight up with knees bent. Or, for an increase of challenge, you can extend your legs out and come into a reverse plank. So take a nice inhalation to prepare, and then exhaling, lifting your hips, keeping your legs straight, pressing your toes away, lifting your heart towards the ceiling, lifting your hips as high as you can. And as long as there's no problems with your neck, let your head tip back. Any troubles with your neck, just keep the chin towards the chest as if you were holding a juicy orange under your chin. No trouble with your neck, then let your head roll all the way back. Lift your heart and breathe. So we're going to lower down. We start with the bottom, and if you've got your head tipped back, let your bottom lead you down, and then the spine slowly stack back to center, and the head comes back to center. Wonderful. So coming to sit in a cross-legged position. And you can sit in a traditional cross-legged position or with one heel in front of the other. Having your left foot closer in, so right foot in front. And then we're going to inhale and extend the arms up. Exhale, planting your left hand down. And inhale as you reach up and over with your right arm. So we'll have a few breaths here. Left hand gently rests on the floor as you feel long through both sides of your body, reaching up and over. And think more of length than leaning into a side lean. Think of growing tall and lengthening over. Inhale, grow a little bit taller, and then exhale, bringing your hands down either side of your left leg, so the more tightly bent leg, and rounding over, just melting the upper body into this stretch. Breathe. Breathe into the muscles that you feel stretching. Keep thinking of rolling your right thigh out in an external spiral of rotation, which helps to get this nice side stretch down the right side of the body. Good. Slowly bringing this right arm back up and over again. Extend your right leg out. Take a nice inhalation and exhale as you press into your left hand and lift your hips, pushing them forward in this modified wild thing. Stretching through the right side of the body, stretching through the core, feeling very energized. And on your next exhalation, slowly lower down and bringing everything back to center, changing the cross of your legs. So we now have left leg in front, right leg more tightly bent, traditional cross-legged or with one heel in front of the other. Placing your right hand down and inhaling as you reach the left arm up. Exhale over into a side lean. Inhale, lengthen, And exhaling, grounding the left sit bone down, reaching up and over. So again, thinking more of that lengthening up. And we don't want to be collapsing into this right side body. We want to think of lengthening. Shoulders are relaxed. Really relax that bottom shoulder. Inhale, lengthen up. And turning towards your right knee, placing your hands either side of the leg. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, rounding over your knee. Melting your upper body. Relax face and jaw, lips, teeth and tongue. Sinking into this stretch. Keep that external spiral of rotation happening in the left thigh. Grounding down through the left buttock. And then slowly coming back up, reaching left arm up, extending left leg out, grounding through right hand, inhale. And exhale as you lift your hips, gently push them forward and reach up and over, ground down through the top of your right foot. Gently push the floor away with your right hand, feel lifted from your right armpit. Relaxed face and jaw, feeling strong, uplifted and energized. And slowly release back down, coming back into your cross-legged position. Move the flesh of the buttocks out the way. Bring your hands gently in front of you. Inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. And exhale, inquire into hinging forward to the front edges of the sit bones. So just for a moment, keep your heart lifted. And then if it feels right, you can round over. Breathe. Feel that delicious stretch in the lower back, the outer hip area, maybe all the way into your buttocks. And slowly coming back upright again, changing the cross of your legs. And again, traditional cross-legged position, or one foot in front of the other. Lift and lengthen up. Inquire into hinging forward at your hips. Keep your heart lifted to begin with. And maybe rounding over. And it will be individual how far you come forward here. You might be more up here. You can still round your shoulders and just let them go. Just surrendering to how your body is today. And breathing into the stretch. Send energy riding on the breath to the muscles you feel stretching. With every exhalation, release them. Release, relax. Feel grounded and connected with the earth. And then on your next inhalation, or even over a few rounds of breath, slowly lengthen back upright. Bring palms to touch in front of your heart. Close your eyes for a moment. And just breathing here, feeling the energy between the palms. And giving yourself gratitude and sending yourself love. Thanks for practicing today. Thank your body for this amazing feat of practicing yoga today. And thank yourself for making it to the mat. Bringing your thumbs to the third eye point in the center of your forehead, gently bow your head. And then bringing your hands back to your heart center. Namaste.